The film begins with Nart's parents selling shallots to make more money to pay for their daughter's medical expenses. As they are talking, they hear Nart scream, and they rush inside the house to find her stomach bulging, and she is bleeding. There is profuse bleeding, and Nart dies. We cut to a happy farming family in Kanchanaburi province. Yad wakes up late and rushes to find her watering can. Yam has helped her sister and their mother. Yen tells Yad she is saved as her father is out for work. Yen asks the girls Yam, Yad, and Yi to return early from school as their father is taking them to a fair. The girls are excited and rush to school. On the way, Yi stops near a bamboo tree and continues to stare. Yam and Yad don't think much about it. Yam and Yad, after classes, are on cleaning up duty, and they find sketches of the deceased girl, Nart. It is of a woman with long hair and a creepy smile. Yam, Yad, and Yi get back, and on the way home, they find the woman from Nart's sketches near the bamboo tree. They start running. Their brother Yad scares them but safely takes them home. At home, their father yells at them for coming home late, but he takes them all to the fair. The girls have fun, but Yam seems to be unwell. She begs Yad not to tell their mother, as she wants to ride the Ferris wheel. The girls are up on the Ferris wheel, and Yi and Yam see an old creepy woman. Yad looks around but does not see anyone. Later, Yam starts to feel sick. Yos takes Yam to the hospital the next day, but the doctors tell her it is fatigue and give her pills. Their brother Yak is away as he is a soldier but scares Yos near the hospital. He has returned to help out the family and be with them. He brings his brother's lighters as souvenirs. Yos is mad at Yak for leaving and letting him take care of the family farm. He is also annoyed, as he is the oldest sibling, but he always acts childishly. Yak's mother pampers him, but his father is a disciplinarian, and he yells at him for coming home, reeking with alcohol, and buying Yi weird candies. Yam asks her sister if she can take her to bed because she feels weak. Yam wakes up at night multiple times as the windows she has closed keep opening. Yad hears some noise and wakes up to see Yam munching on something, and when she asks her about it, she strangely responds, saying she is hungry. Yad is uneasy, but she hears strange whispers and falls asleep. The following day, one of the workers refuses to work on the farm without stating a proper reason. Yak and his brothers decide to help finish the work since the workers have left halfway. Yad asks Yam if she wants to go out for some fresh air, but she refuses and rudely calls Yi a bitch and asks her to give a massage. Yad scolds her sister for being rude, and their mother comes in and asks about the commotion. Yam pretends to be innocent and tells her sister to force her to go out and get some fresh air. Yad tries to tell her the truth, but her mother scolds her instead. Yad runs out crying, and Yi asks if she can sleep with her that night. Like the previous night, Yam keeps staring at her, and she feels scared. A still from Death Whisperer, 2023. Yad's parents spend a night outside the house and ask Yad to care for her sisters. Yak asks his brothers what has happened since he was away, and neither has anything to report. Yad overhears their conversation, and she tells them about the strange whispers, but none of her brothers hear them. Yak tells Yad that one of the workers said he heard the noises Yad is talking about, and it is similar to Nart's case. Yik promises not to let anything happen to Yam. That night, the brothers decide to keep watch, and in the middle of the night, the radio plays on its own, and Yad sees Yam walking out. The brothers are shouting at someone, and there is gunfire. Yad can hear the whispers again. Hearing the gunshots, Yi is scared. Yak asks Yi to hide in the closet until she returns, as she needs to look for Yam. They find Yam and put her to sleep, but she can't recall anything. They let her rest. Yak asks Yak what happened and if it was a thief. Yak tells Yad that Yod, Yos, and he were having a drink while keeping watch when the lamp started to go off. Yak sees Yam go out, but before he can follow, he hears the whispers. He is unable to move, so he puts his hand on a flame to stay away. They go looking for Yam, find a strange woman's shadow, and try to shoot it. However, they find Yam a little outside the house, and she faints in front of them. Yad asks them about the woman and sees the woman near the tree. The next day, Yak gives money to Yad and asks her to share it with her sisters. She gives Yam money, but Yam tells her she may never get to use it and needs to hold on to it. Yad gives it to her anyway and tells her she will buy her favorite milk. Yam wants to go with her and asks her to convince their mother. Yad leaves Yam to freshen up, but Yad and Yen start to hear screams. A creepy older woman is sitting on Yam, taking one of Yam's teeth and putting it in her mouth. Yen throws her out of the house. Yak brings Sergeant Paphan to meet his mother, and on the way, he tells Paphan about Yam. Yen tells Paphan that Chui had come home and tried to harm Yam. Sergeant Paphan meets Yam, and the family sees her in the possessed form. She spits something on Paphan. Paphan tells the spirit that she is Chui and needs to get out. The spirit inside Yam laughs it out and asks them to get lost. Paphan tells Yak about Chui, and they visit her house. Chui has moved into town recently and is known to call upon dark spirits. Chui mixes items in a cauldron, and she takes out Yam's tooth and puts it inside as Yak and Paphan barge in. They start yelling at her, and Chui kills herself by stabbing her head with a wooden stick. Paphan tells Yak that spirits need a body to play host, and Chui has been the host until now. The last item they usually need is the tooth. He asks Yak to keep an eye on Yam to be sure she is possessed, and he will do whatever it takes to help. Yak asks Yi and Yad to take his room and lock themselves in and not to come out, no matter what happens. The brothers wait, and it is around 2 a.m., and they start to hear the whispers. Yam is up and is chanting something. Yak asks the brothers to put their hands on the flame, but they all pass out. Yad is biting her hand so she can't pass out. Yam goes out the back door, and Yad wakes her brothers up. They pick up a rifle and torches and start looking for Yam. There is a commotion, and their parents come out. Yak shouts at his father, saying he does not care about his kids and only cares about work. They split and look for the spirit. Yak goes into the farm, and he hears someone and shoots before seeing who it is. It is his mother, and he starts to weep. However, Yen wakes up, cracking her neck, and it is a spirit. Yak chases it around and waits at the edge of the farm for the spirit to arrive. He suddenly sees his mother and is about to shoot, and one of his brothers stops him. Yak can see through a hole in the window that Yam is being carried home, but at the room door, Yam is asking her to open the door. Yad refuses, and a bloody, bony hand comes through the window. She is about to open the latch, but suddenly, Yad hears her mother calling out. Yad opens the door, and she hugs her mother. Sergeant Paphan brings Mr. Puth home, hoping for a solution to save Yam. Mr. Puth looks around at the farm and the bamboo tree and decides to enter the house. He also warns Yak that he needs to be ready for what will come next, and strength will not be enough to fight it. He meets Yam and asks the spirit within to get out, but Yam starts to feign innocence and asks her mother to help her. Yak and his father stop Yen. Mr. Puth takes out a paste and puts it on Yam's forehead, and she starts to scream. Yam starts calling out to her mother again, and Yen rushes to her and protects her. Yam's father brings a cane and starts hitting and pulling Yam aggressively. Yak and Mr. Puth stop him. Mr. Puth asks them to leave Yen with Yam, and they go out. He then asks them to cut down the bamboo from the tree, and things will start to reveal themselves. As the brothers cut down, they see different human organs in there. Mr. Puth explains that it helps the spirit stay alive. Yod pokes it, and Yam, the spirit inside her, comes running, and everyone tries to stop her. The brothers burn the organs, and Mr. Puth puts the paste on Yam's forehead again. Mr. Puth tells Yak that he should be the one driving and taking Yam to the hospital as Saline will save her, but the journey to the hospital will not be easy, and he needs to be ready. Pap Han, Mr. Puth, Yen, Yam, Yak, Yad, and Yod drive to the hospital. During the journey, Mr. Puth mentions that the spirit inside her is a master manipulator, and he needs to be alert. Yak starts driving, and there is heavy fog. Mr. Puth asks him if he has the special bullets he has given him. Yak is ready with the pistol, but Mr. Puth tells him his instincts will tell him when to shoot, and he needs to be alert. While driving, he sees a lot of spirits on the way. In the back, a spirit is standing above Yad, and she feels liquid fall on her hand. She looks up and is horrified. Pap Han asks them to close their eyes as the spirits can see them only if they can see it. Yak drives through spirits, and there is blood on his windshield. He sees his family in spirit form and starts shooting with the special bullets. Yam is awake, and the whispers begin, making it difficult for Yak to drive. Yam takes control of the vehicle and crashes it right into the tree, killing Mr. Puth. Yak wakes up from the crash and sees Yam dragging the bodies. Yam kills Pap Han. She tells Yak that being a part of the family has been fun as she has not met any family like theirs. She is about to kill Yad, but Yak asks to be killed first. Yak gives Yad a signal, and she throws the special sword Mr. Puth had. He stabs Yam's hand and tells the spirit inside her that he knows that it needs a healthy body as a host, and now it can go away. The woman, spirit, is now standing before him, and he takes the pistol and shoots it. Yam is in the hospital, and Yad is caring for her. Yam does not remember anything, but Yad promises to be good and handle all the chores in the future. Yam asks if she can do it forever, and her stomach starts to bloat, and she bleeds. Yam is dead. Yad can see the woman from the hospital window. After Yam's funeral, Yak burns wood and says it isn't over. The ending indicates that there will be part 2. Yak returns home because he knows something is wrong in his hometown, and his father does not believe these rumors. Yak comes back home only to save his family but fails to save Yam despite trying his best. Although Yak attempted to kill the spirit with a bullet, he failed, probably because the spirit was a manipulator. It made him believe he was getting rid of it, but it would take another host any time. The other host could also be Yad since she saw the spirit from the hospital window. The next host could also be Yi, who is the first to spot the spirit early in the film.